That'sEnough.com. My name is Jameer Pond. We back with another interview. I'm here with one of the funniest IG and social media comedians. He's doing his thing. He has a show this Saturday. We're going to promote it. And we're going to talk to him right now.
Definitely.
Hopefully them characters come out. It's my man Majah Hype from Brooklyn. What's up, baby?
Good, brother? How you?
How you, man?
Let's start right off. Before we get the characters out and all that, let's start right off.
Right off.
Letting them know September 3rd, this Saturday, is going down. It's going to be crazy in King's Theater. Now, what's so big about this event is that King's Theater is like the sister to Barclays.
Yeah,
you know
very true.
If you can't pack out, King's Theater, then you don't have no business even looking at Barclays. You know what I'm saying? And it's a big accomplishment for us as Caribbean people to even be able to have, this show and it's doing so well in ticket sales and stuff like that. So, September 3rd, that's where it's at, the comedy show. And we're going to be filming also the live the taping, the 1 hour special. So, They need to be there so that, it's going to definitely be a crazy event.
Okay. Now, when you get on stage, because I know you from being on Instagram and Twitter, social media.
Definitely.
Your stand-up, though. I mean, what can we expect from a Majah Hype stand-up?
Well, first off, just to be able to have the ability to be on stage for an hour and do, stand-up comedy is one thing.
Okay.
That's you?
You got stuff going on in the background. Yeah. We got an audience in the background. That's all right.
It's all good. But anyway, to be able to do that, stand-up comedy is absolutely a great thing for me because I come from the era where I used to watch Red Fox, Eddie Murphy, Delirious, Martin Lawrence, and You So Crazy, and most of the greats. I watched all of them, Richard Pryor and stuff like that. So to be able to even follow those footsteps, is a blessing, especially for the Caribbean community to have that. Somebody that identifies and also can relate to the different things that we go through daily. So. When you come to a Majah Hype show, you could definitely expect, the different characters. I usually give everybody at least 45 minutes to an hour of just me standing up on stage, Majah Hype, just killing the crowd and stuff. And then I'll, change into the different characters and stuff because everybody loves the characters.
Right.
And they want to see them live. You know what I mean? They want to see the Ross come out live. They want to see Grandpa James, Bobby Buns, and Sister Sandra and everybody else. So, it's definitely a show that, you don't want to miss if you've never been to a Majah Hype, comedy show.
Yeah. And I find it very interesting that, you mentioned that you used to watch the greats like Pryor and Eddie Murphy. Because I think a lot of people now, they have the talent, but they usually just keep it all on Instagram and Twitter and all that.
Well, you know what? There's a top 5 list of what's the hardest jobs to do in the world. You know what I'm saying? And one of the most hardest jobs to me, because I've been a DJ, I've worked for MTA, I've did so many different things, but actually being on stage for an hour, being a public speaker, period, is one of the hardest jobs.
Oh yeah, because you got to be engaging.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So imagine being a public speaker and having to have people laugh for an hour. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole nother beast right there. You know what I mean? So, I commend everybody that can do that. You know what I mean? Such as myself as well. But there's 15 seconds or a minute on Instagram being edited is one thing.
Yeah.
Being on stage and entertaining people,
living in the moment,
is a totally different beast. You know what I'm saying? So, I was blessed with the privilege to be able to do that. So, I just give thanks for that,
Yeah. Okay. So, you mentioned your different jobs, which I think is interesting because I was reading up on you and I know that you're a licensed electrician.
Definitely.
What was the moment where you decided you was like, nah, I'm not going to work no more. I'm focusing on this.
Well, you know what? There was a point in my life where I was working as an electrician and things kind of slowed up, and I was working for MTA and stuff, and I got laid off. You know what I'm saying? And I was laid off for like 2 to 3 years or so.
2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So I actually, I saved up enough money and stuff like that, so I wasn't really worried about it. Plus, I had other sources of income. You know what I mean? And I was just, trying to figure out what's the next step, what's the next move. You know what I mean? And they called me back to work. But during the time that they called me back to work, I just started doing the videos on Instagram. You know what I mean? And it started, the following started to increase, and, you know, people was atting everybody, and, you know, numbers just kept on growing. And they called me back to work, and I went back to work for like a week. And I was one of the electricians that walked in the tunnels and messed with all the big transformers and stuff like that. So I worked for about a week, and I just was like, you know what? This is not what I want to do no more. You know what I mean? I'd rather pursue my dreams and my goals, and, you know what I mean, work hard to, you know, doing something that I love instead of what I have to do, you know what I mean? So that's how that really started and ignited, you know?
Yeah, and I'm sure not having that cushion or that backing of security made you go even harder.
Definitely, especially when you have, you know, kids to take care of, and, you know, responsibilities and stuff like that. It's like you just put yourself in that zone that this has to work. You know what I mean? It's not about, oh, I'm going to do this, and if it works. No, not if it works. You got to make it work. You know what I mean? So that's basically what it was. Yeah.
So you have to come up with characters and content daily.
Definitely.
Like probably more than that. Like it's not just one time a day. What's the process? I know you say you think about a lot of stuff in the shower and, you know, goes through things, but what's the process of pushing out the content that you have?
Well, the formula that I've had has always worked for me, and it's always to be spontaneous. You know what I mean? I'm very observant with a lot of things, and living in Brooklyn, you know, you see so many different situations and, you know, scenarios happen that, you know, you just take it in, and maybe you could enhance it, or, you know what I'm saying, exaggerate it or whatever and make it funny. I've never written a script as far as my Instagram or Facebook videos is concerned. It's always off the fly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The only thing I've only wrote was probably my movie. You know what I'm saying? So other than that, that's been working for me. I get up in the morning, start my day off with a prayer. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Get ready for the day, and I'm always inspired by something. There's always something that comes up. So that's what's been working for me so far. So I just continue to do that.
Yeah. And like I say, you taking it outside of just social media.
Definitely.
I mean, as your following has been growing.
Definitely.
You know, I got to see you on Money and Violence.
Definitely.
Season 2, which was.
I was the grimy dude on.
You were grimy.
I was
everybody
super
grimy
on Money and Violence. But I mean, people love the character. Everywhere I go, you know, they always talk about it. They're like, "Yo, man." Money and Violence, bro. Yo, you did your thing. You know what I'm saying? You was grimy as hell, but you did your thing. You know what I'm saying? And it's a blessing to even be able to, you know, have that opportunity to do that as well. You know what I mean? Because it shows the diversity of your career as well. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knows me from doing comedy and stuff like that. So to be able to play like a real gangster, you know what I mean, Jamaican dude or whatever, you know what I'm saying? It showed the difference in you know, what I could do. You know what I mean? And the abilities. So that was a blessing in itself, you know.
So you've gotten bit by the acting bug. I mean, clearly. I mean,
definitely. I mean, acting to me, doing the skits on Instagram and you know, stuff like that is a part of acting. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't really that much of a challenge. You know what I mean? But it's definitely something that it was already written in my book of accomplishments. You know what I mean? To be able to direct my own stuff and, you know, play. Like my movie that I have coming out, which is called Foreign Minds Think Alike. It's a Caribbean comedy, and I'm playing 4 different characters in the movie.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And I directed it as well, and I wrote it as well. So, you know what I mean? That in itself was an accomplishment, like, crazy for me, you know what I mean? Especially for it to be my first debut, you know, project. It was just crazy.
Well, let's talk about some of your characters and some of your accents that you do. I mean, people find your accent so authentic that everybody like guess what nationality you are, what island you from.
Definitely.
But let's talk about the first accent that you started out with. What was the first one that you mastered?
I mean,
or you just did them? You did them all.
It's just basically all of them was just connected. You know what I'm saying? I was just doing the Haitian one, you know, because sometimes you know you got to, you know, take it easy, you know.
What's the key to a good Haitian accent? Because everybody hates my Haitian accent.
The key to a good Haitian accent, well, you know, English is not the first language in Haiti, so you know you have you have a French accent, and learning, you know, just like us, learning a different language is not that easy. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? And sometimes we might say things that don't sound authentic to Spanish people. We might learn Spanish and, you know what I'm saying, say
Right.
something like,
Miércoles.
exactly. And they were like, what are
What
you
are
saying,
you
Papi?
saying?
I don't understand that. I don't know what you're saying, Papi. You know what I'm saying? And really and truly, Spanish people, when they hear you speaking Spanish and you don't sound Spanish, they'll just keep speaking to you in English.
Right. Like, we're not
you
even
be
going to try.
You go to the store and ask for, I want to pay for this bread. ¿Cuánto? They look at you like $5, Papi. $5. They ain't gonna say it to you in Spanish. You know what I'm saying? Because they like
You ain't meet that criteria.
You're not authentic yet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, the key to the accent is, for me, I think that Haitian people they use certain words out of context. And when I say certain words, it's like instead of saying I'm coming. Or not even I'm coming, for them to say like, I'm about to come over there. They say, well, I'm going to over there come just now. You know what I'm saying? They'll change the words up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You be like, what? I'm about to over there come just now? Like, what are you saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm love you, man. Instead of saying I love you, they be like, I'm love you. I'm got pressure on the chest for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yo.
So, I mean, you just got to exaggerate it, you know what I'm saying, with the little French accent, So.
What's been the hardest accent that you've had to, like, really study and be like, all right, I got to get this right?
Man, I think it got to be the Barbadian.
Oh.
Bajans, man. I tell you, man.
What makes them the most difficult?
You know what it is? It's like, certain accents are kind of similar. You know what I mean? You might have Grenada, Trinidad, that's similar. You know what I mean? St. Vincent and St. Lucia might be a little similar.
Right.
Then you got Guyanese and like St. Virgin Islands people that they use similar words and they kind of sound the same. But Barbados to me is just like that accent that just stands alone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the more I travel and the more I do shows is the more you learn about, the different accents and stuff. And I actually realized that people from Anguilla kind of sound a little bit like Bajans. You know what I'm saying? Antiguans sound like Jamaicans. You know what I'm saying? So everybody has their similarities, you know what I mean? But Barbados is one of the strong accents, you know what I'm saying? And instead of, like, a Jamaican would say, la uno, me not business about none of uno. You know what I'm saying? But Bajans would be like, I don't care about none of one. And it's the same, they're using the same word. It's uno. And uno comes from Spanish, like none of you. You know what I'm saying? Or none of one or whatever. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's all the same thing, but they just have an accent that stands out.
Right.
Yeah.
One character I was interested in learning more about was Bobby Buns.
Oh, yeah. Facts. What's that?
It just sounds like the 40-year-old dude on the corner from
like
the
that
90s
dude,
hip hop era.
Been to jail.
Been to jail.
Or still on parole for like 8 years now. You know what I'm saying? Still can't get it together. Tired of going and pee and all that and check his blood and all that craziness. You know what I'm saying? But he still can rap. He's not with none of the
the new
yachty.
shit.
He's
Not
not with the yachty and the Uzi and all that. You know what I'm saying? He just a real rapper. He respect people like Kendrick Lamar.
And maybe he don't necessarily think Drake is better than him.
Maybe he might be like, I don't think.
You know, because I like lyricism.
You know what I'm saying? I like people like Jadakiss. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Okay. Maybe, and J. Cole, maybe, exactly, yeah.
But Kendrick is definitely in there, you know.
Kendrick has to be if we talk about lyrics.
Definitely.
Okay,
so that's the type of artists and music that he listened to. You know what I'm saying? He don't listen to the popcorn stuff.
I got you.
And when I say popcorn, I don't mean the reggae artist popcorn.
Right,
I mean
not
like the bubblegum stuff.
no popcorn.
Yeah, not
Boy, what you gonna do here now?
none of that. Not that. I'm talking about the bubblegum
The pop,
stuff.
the bubblegum stuff. All right, so who'd you see one day and you said, you know what, or hear and go, you know what, Bobby Buns, like I gotta have a character like that.
Really and truly, Bobby Buns was created because of the representation. You know what I'm saying? I think that I represent the Caribbean so much, and I have so many American followers, and and even followers that have West Indian parents, but they were born here, and they kind of identify more with the American stuff. You know what I mean? So I just want to build a character that they can relate to, you know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, I watch my comments. I'm that dude that I'll put up something and watch all the comments and stuff like that and see what people saying and get the feedback and reactions of people. And I see a lot of American people like from Texas and Tennessee and Arizona and all these places, and they're like, yo, come to the Bay Area. You mad funny. I don't understand what you be saying, but it's mad funny. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, how you don't understand it, but it's funny.
You think
know
it's
what I'm
funny,
saying?
right.
But it's cool because, I mean, you know, Caribbean people, we everywhere. You know what I'm saying? But I just said, you know what? I'm going to give them somebody that they can understand. You know what I'm saying? And for anybody who ever took a trip to New York, had to come across a Bobby Buns before in life.
One
you know what
time
I'm saying?
or another,
At least
absolutely.
once, even on the train. So you know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to build that character for those people, you know.
What kind of groupies are coming to you, throwing their panties at you?
I get a lot of weird things.
Weird
thrown at me.
things?
Yeah, a lot of weird stuff.
Okay.
Because a lot of people actually fall in love with these characters.
Right.
And kind of lose the reality that it's really me.
It's you, right.
You know what I'm saying? I've been offered to have sex with girls, and they like, yo, I don't want to have sex with Majah Hype, though. I want to have sex with Bobby Buns.
Really?
I want you to put on the Ross wig. And I'm just like, thank you for your support. Have a good day. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, I'm not into role playing, you know what I'm saying? Unless I'm Doctor or somebody, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, I mean, you know what? That's with anything, you know what I'm saying? When you're doing anything and you're successful at what you do and you create a buzz for yourself, you're always going to be propositioned.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's up to you to really stay focused and know that this is your career that you're playing with and not just, you know, walking around having fun. It's not a hobby.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you definitely don't want to be that celebrity, especially from the hood, that every girl could be like, yeah, I tore that up.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? You don't want to be that dude. You know what I'm saying? You want to have some kind of exclusivity about yourself. So I don't really. I mean, it comes and I just, you know, give thanks for the opportunity. But I'm just like, you know what?
Stay blessed.
Thank you for your support.
God bless
I
you.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Love you. God bless.
Prayer hands on
Exactly.
Instagram. Right. Thank you. Stay
exactly.
blessed. 100.
I be giving them the monkey face mad time. I give them that all the time. The monkey emoji. I give them that all the time.
I can't do this. No, it's all right. It's all right.
I can't do it.
Initially off, you know, you started taking off and your buzz started growing, and of course you wanted to do more things and different things. Were you ever afraid of hitting a ceiling because people may fall in love with the characters so much that they forget about you as your own entity?
Not really, because they are me. You know what I mean? And I am Majah Hype.
You embrace all of them.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's why I kind of create some characters that I don't use any beards or any wigs or anything. It's just my face. So you are familiar with the face as well. You know what I'm saying? And I create characters so much that I don't think. I mean, of course they have their top 5,
right?
But I always try to stay relevant, because you know the society today has a very short attention span. You know what I mean? And I feel like if you give them something too much, you know what I mean, they're gonna be like tired of it, over it. You know what I'm saying? Let's move on. You know what I'm saying? So I keep on creating different characters for them. You know what I mean? You got the Ross, you got Grandpa James, you got Sister Sandrine, and you have I've created Adam the West Indian Watcher, Bobby Buns. I've added Mitzi with a Z. I had the 2 police officers, which is Officer Sellout already, and Officer Bragadat put gunshot in at that. You know what I'm saying? I just keep on creating different characters. You know what I mean? You got Pastor Radcliffe. You got Uncle Jimmy that's from the South.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's so many different characters, and I try to please everybody. You know what I'm saying? So, for the most part, everybody has their favorite. Because I've created a character called Binoculars.
Right.
That was like a Trinidadian lyricist. He wanted to be a lyricist so bad, and he always wanted to make a song, and he always has a song to sing. And he was really, he had a short span as far. And everybody, majority of the people be like, when are you bringing back Adam the West Indian Watcher? Right. When are you bringing back Binoculars? And I'm like, wow, you guys really liked it? Yeah. Like that much that you want me to bring him back? You know, Adam the West Indian Watcher was actually, you know, like one of the Australian guys who, you know, like how they watch the animals and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But he was just watching West Indian people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So he would see like two Jamaicans having a conversation and one of them will kiss his teeth and he'd be like, crikey, did you see that? He just kissed his teeth. What does that mean? You know what I mean? And it was just like, the spin off of that type of vibe, you know what I mean? And
Right.
it was surprising how so many people missed it and really wanted me to bring it back, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying I'm not going to bring it back, but,
It's a time and a place.
yeah, I like people to miss these things. So you might watch me for a month and not see the Ross because I don't want you to get tired of the Ross. You know what I'm saying? I have another character called Jack Fleek that was like a news broadcaster.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he's just like, he was making Christmas carols and all of that. You know what I'm saying? And people, I stopped doing them for a while, and then because the funny thing about Jack Fleek was that he was always in studio doing the news.
Right.
And then they would always do the weather with one of the Jamaican dudes and the weather was always messed up when they going to you, Donovan. How's the weather? And he'd be like in a blizzard or a storm or it's pouring raining, and he's like, "Yo, me not like how not deal with me now."
What's your most favorite character that you love to do that people don't even have to ask for necessarily, but you just love embodying?
I would probably say the Ross.
The Ross is clearly classic.
The Ross and Mitzi right now is like the funniest to me. Like Mitzi is like, she's just so flamboyant and she's just so out there and she don't care about nothing.
Right.
Because Mitzi is really like a thief.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And she goes out and steals clothes and steals stuff and you know what I'm saying? And she just have nothing about her, you know what I'm saying? And she just like, yeah, so me turn up. Me thing turn up around here, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, and people love Mitzi. And Mitzi, she's like, she's exotic because she spells her name with a Z, so it's Mitzi.
So it's
Mitzi with a Z,
You hear that?
you know what I'm saying?
All right, we're going to let you get out of here. Before you
Definitely.
go, I need to hear, we got to pay tribute to some of the islands. So
Definitely.
I'm going to just call out an island.
Do your thing.
You just let me hear somebody from there, all right?
Definitely.
We got to start with Jamaica.
Well, you don't know. Big up everybody where I watch it right now. You don't know. Enough. You understand? And if you don't like it, I bluff. And the rest I make you know, say, fire for that I'm over.
Panama.
Well, whopping, big man, I'm telling you, trying to tell you something, but you're not listening to what I'm telling you, big man, whopping. You have to listen to me because your ears hard no ras.
Let me hear Haiti.
Well, that's easy for me, man. DJ Enough that come in that, man. You understand? I've got to big up everybody that watch this man and to listen to this man because it's all good. I'm going to pray for you too. Okay?
Let me hear St. Lucia.
Well, sometimes it's hard to go with whiff. They like to say whiff, right? They say whiff. They don't say whiff. They say whiff. You could come with me. I'll take you with me to the store.
All right, you got to end it off with Trinidad.
Well, this is Grandpa James, a.k.a. the Soca Commissioner, and you got it locked right here to djenough.com. You understand? And if you change the dial, that will piss me off. Okay? So keep it right here.
DJ Enough, that's enough.com. We out. Peace.